Okay, welcome to Module 1, Server 2019, Server Implementation, which is an introduction to Server 2019. So we're going to discuss essential, standard, and data center. So hardware requirements for 2019. So maybe you're asking, what are the requirements? So hardware requirements will vary depending on job role and the workload. If your job role is just to manage 2 servers, you're gonna go standard. If the workload is pretty heavy and you require at least 300 servers, you're gonna go for a data center. So minimum hardware requirements for 2019, 64-bit. Most servers naman, 64-bit na yun. Processor speed 1.4, ibang CPU is 4.1 na, di ba? And RAM, 512 lang, napakababa. Pero in reality, if you're gonna go Active Directory and so on, minimum of 2 gig, 2 gig RAM. Anong size ng RAM? Anybody?
Invented 12.
2 gig. 2 gig lang. Hard drive space, minimum 32. Actually, 20 nga lang, pwede na. Next, licensing and activation model for 2019. So licensing for server standard, excuse me, and data center is basically the same with 2012, 2008, and 2016. So this is based on the number of cores. You're paying for the cores you use, not processor. So what's the difference between cores and processor? Diba? Processor, ito yung physical, no? Inside the physical CPU, ang Core i7, they have 8 ba yun? 8? No? Ang quad core, from the word itself, quad apat. Okay? 4 cores. So you're paying per core. Each Windows server has the following minimum license requirement. All physical cores should be licensed. Okay, dapat license yan. There must be at least 8 core license per processor. So ito yung bibili ninyo, 8 core license. So ay bibili sa Microsoft.com. There must be 16 cores license per server kasi nga dual processor, dual physical CPU, di ba? CAL, client access license, are required for each user to connect. Let's say meron kang 10 user na ko-connect sa server. Anong license tawag doon? CAL. Okay? So, iba pa yung license ng server, iba pa yung license ng CAL. Okay? So, yung CAL is individual, per user, or per device. Pwede naman yung isang Windows 10, then 3 call center agent, no? That connects to the server for any purpose. Licensing and activation models for a server. So to ensure that your org has the proper license and to receive notice for product updates, you need to activate. Okay, kailangan activated. So siguro, most of you alam na para mag-activate. Anyway, kahit di mo siya activate, it will keep on asking, please activate. Okay? Hindi mo mamimiss yan. Windows Server Activation Method. So merong manual activation. Yung during installation, mamaya habang nag-install tayo, I will show you kung paano i-activate. Okay, yung manual. Meron namang automatic activation. Let's say, nag-purchase ka ng 10 licenses, no? KMS yon. Ano yung KMS? Key Management Services, which will utilize single license to activate multiple server. Okay? Meron namang volume activation service role na you need to install pa. Okay? To manage licensing lang. Meron ding AD-based activation, pero ito yung common, KMS. Meron ding volume activation management tool, which is a PowerShell tool, and multiple activation key, which will activate multiple servers, and automatic VM activation during joining of the server to the domain. Napakadaming model, pero huwag yun intindihin yan, manual or KMS. Let's say kahit 1,000 pa yan, kaya-kaya ng KMS yan. Okay? Okay, question. Let's say 1,000 yung server na deploy nyo. Gusto nyo i-license. Anong model gagamitin nyo for activation? Anybody?
Volume activation.
Galing. Correct. Galing. Okay, so ganun. Talagang we're learning one by one. Step by step. Huh? What's new? Anong bago sa 2019? Okay. So dito meron siyang Windows Admin Center, which manage servers, including clusters and hyper-converge. So ito yung bago na wala sa 2016. Walang hyper-converge infra. So ano yung hyper-converge? No? When you say converge, ito yung, let's say, Cisco UCS server na meron lang compute. When you say compute, ito yung CPU and RAM. Okay? Pero wala ditong networking sa Converge. Which means, you need to purchase Cisco switches, Cisco routers, Cisco VPN. Bibilin mo pa yon. Sa Converge, wala ring storage, external storage. That's why you need to purchase yung mga Dell EMC storage na kukonect mo sa switches, kukonect mo sa server. Tatlo, di ba? Sa Hyper-Converge naman, all-in-one. Siya na yung compute, siya na yung networking, virtual networking lang. Hindi ka na bibili ng physical switch and storage, virtual storage. Okay? All-in-one. One server in all. So yung mga tao ngayon nagma-migrate na from Converge to Hyper-Converge. So paano nangyari yun? Magbi-build tayo ng virtual disk, magbi-build din tayo ng virtual network. Okay? Pag virtual lahat, achievable ang Hyper-Converge. Pag physical, limited ka sa Converge network. No, mas mahal 'yon, no? Capex na siguro mga $10 million. Another news sa 2019 is in dedupe. Okay? Napakasimple ng concept ng dedupe. It removes duplicate data. Okay? Yan lang tatandaan niya. Fully supported na yan. Okay? So that's why here, you can save a lot of disk. And then another new one sa 2019 is yung cluster sets. You are allowed to create large scale out clusters. What do you mean by scale out? You can do horizontal and vertical. So what is horizontal? Horizontal ito yung on the fly. No? Let's say 4-core lang yung CPU. Tapos heavy loaded siya. No? 100% CPU. You can add 4 CPU right there and then. Okay? Vertical naman, you can add additional servers. So magiging dalawa yung server mo. So yung scale out. What's new again? Meron na siyang Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection. Para siyang firewall. And meron din siyang Windows Defender Exploit Guard. Okay? Antivirus, malware protection. Another one, meron siyang server core app compatibility. Yung core na command line interface can be accessed using GUI. Yung graphical, ganito, may graph. Kasi ang core, parang Linux yan. Wala to. Command line interface lang. Napakahirap. So, dinagdagan niya. Naglagay siyang desktop experience. And then, meron din siyang shielded VM for Linux, which means it will protect Linux VM from attacks. Okay? Talagang hindi lang firewall, kundi meron siyang parang exclusive VLAN. Okay? Which is protected. That's why they call it shielded. Overview of deployment options. So traditionally, meron kayong disk, di ba? Papasok nyo yung disk dun sa CD-ROM. Di ba? CD-ROM. Bubut kayo CD-ROM. Physical yun. Napakahirap nun. Ang client ninyo nasa America. No? So paano may papasok yung DVD? Anybody? So, boss, papuntahin niyo ako sa America. Diba? Pamasahe pa lang, ang laki na ng gastos. Nung last decade, ganun, no? They asked me, can you go here in Minneapolis, install 100 servers? So talagang pupunta ka Minneapolis, tapos check-in sa 5-star hotel, tapos meron kang buffet breakfast. So 5 kami gagawa nun. Napakamahal nun. Hindi na uso yun. Hindi na uso yan. So ngayon, we will boot the machine or VM from 2019 parent disk. Yan yung parent. Parent, parang magulang. Bago ka pinanganak, may magulang ka. Nakadikit ka sa nanay mo, di ba? So meron tayong mother. Then meron tayong child. Yung child, nakadikit lang doon sa parent. Okay, magbo-boot up tayo sa parent. Okay, yun lang yung concept na. Paano gumawa ng child? Papakita. Gagawin ninyo to. Gagawin ninyo to. Hindi ngayon, no? So probably tomorrow or yung iba, yung first batch today. No? You will choose installation language, English. Adjust the time and currency format and keyboard layout. Usually US. No? Choose the architecture, select data center na para unlimited VM, standard to VM free. So what's the difference between the two? This has 2 VM. Ito unlimited. So dito, if you wanna add VM, let's say additional 92, you need to purchase yung core license. Okay. Dito kasama na siya. No? So with or without GUI. Then accept the license or enter the license. And then custom install. Format drive C. So ito yung step-by-step paano mag-install. And then you're gonna choose the volume that will host the install. So drive 0. Saan install? Drive 0. Paano mag-install? Either ipasok niyo yung USB, na non-bootable USB, or yung CD-ROM. Pero luma na yan. Ang gagawin natin, we're gonna attach to the parent. Okay, malinaw ba? Ulitin ko ha. So paano mag-install? We're gonna attach sa parent. No? Select English, time, currency, keyboard. We're gonna select data center OS. Accept the license. Format drive 0. Choose the volume, drive C. Okay, ganun na. Ito na. So this is our first project, project number 1. So we're gonna perform hands-on lab. Bibigay ko mamaya sa inyo. Dali lang. So dito, you will build Windows Server using PowerShell. Okay, you will create VHD, virtual hard drive. And then you will perform post-installation tasks. Okay, so first of all, what is Windows PowerShell? Windows PowerShell is a command line shell. Talaga may shell siya, yung kulay blue. And scripting language, which is native sa Microsoft, that allows task automation and config management. Para sa yung PowerShell, it's a scripting language which will allow you to automate tasks. Okay? System admin kasi napakadaming trabaho. No? Napaulit-ulit lang naman. So, dito, it will automate yung tasks. Saan yung PowerShell? Anybody?
Scripting language for automation.
Tama,
For task
tama.
automation.
To automate tasks. Okay, malinaw. I hope lahat malinaw yung PowerShell. Para yung PowerShell, scripting language which will allow admin to automate tasks. Okay? PowerShell, commandlet, execute, command prompt,
Sir,
CLI.
pwedeng mabilis na tanong. Sorry.
Oh, sige,
Sobrang
go ahead.
bilis lang. O,
Hmm.
ano yung difference ng command line tsaka nung PowerShell?
Hindi, ang command line yung itatype mo mano-mano sa
Hindi, yung
command
block,
line.
yung CMD and yung
Hindi yung CMD,
PowerShell.
DOS yun, DOS yun.
So, may difference ba sila when it comes to execution ng command?
Oo, totally different. Kasi yung command prompt, command lang yun. Parang DOS lang, hindi yun PowerShell. May sariling
Okay.
shell to. Okay? Parang Linux, may bash shell. May sariling environment. What is commandlet? Commandlet are small commands that perform specific function. Let's say, new-VHD. Pag sinabing new, bago. Gagawa kayo. Create virtual hard disk. Okay? You can combine to perform multiple tasks. Pwede yung pagsamasamahin. Can be piped together to perform multiple operation. Okay? Pwede pagsamasamahin then using piping. Ano naman yung modules? Modules, commandlet specific to products. Let's say, HyperV module. That module is exclusive for HyperV. Okay? Ang Active Directory module is for Active Directory. Okay? So may mga module siya na you need to install. Papakita ko yan mamaya. Some are installed. Iba magtataka kayo, uy, ba't gumana? Kasi naka-install na yun by default. And some need to be added manually. Kailangan i-add mo. PowerShell has an ISE. Ano yung ISE? Integrated Scripting Environment. So may environment to. Ang ICE is a GUI which allow you to run commands. You can create, you can modify, you can debug, and test. No? You can test the script while in dev. Habang tinetesting. Okay? PowerShell remote management, which will allow you to remotely run command-led to other Windows operating system. Let's say nasa ibang OS ka, you can execute command kahit nasa labas ka using PowerShell remote management. What is PowerShell Direct? PowerShell Direct naman will enable you to run Windows PowerShell inside the VM from the physical host. Let's say, di ba meron tayong physical. Balikan ko yung physical natin. So ito yung physical. Okay. And then meron tayong, sorry, hindi naman physical. Virtual pa rin to eh. Let's say we have HyperV Host. And then you will create server 4. You can communicate with this one using PowerShell Direct. Okay? Even if they're sitting on different subnet.
Sir, question lang quickly. Sir, yung regarding sa, di ba may Windows PowerShell and then ano yung pagkakaiba pag nag-Windows PowerShell ka via administrator? Kasi nagde-deploy ako ng Microsoft Teams and nagamit kasi kami ng PowerShell. Kaso lang, self-learning na lang din sir eh. Hindi kasi din-discuss kung...
Pag admin, you have root level, you have all the
okay.
privilege. Usually, they'll just give you read-only. which you cannot do anything.
Okay.
Viewing lang.
Okay. Same as normal, sir, yung parang sa global admin sa Office
Correct.
365, no? Okay, got it po.
Correct, sir. So, hindi kayo bibigyan unless domain admin. Yeah, I hope I answer your question. Next one
Yes, sir.
is server manager. No? So, puro theory muna tayo before tayo mag-jump sa hands-on lab. No? Talagang dito pa lang malalaman nyo na establishing fundamentals. Okay? So, what is server manager? Server manager allows admin to manage servers, whether local or remote. Okay? You can also configure local server. You can extract basic info about the server. You can query logs, yung mga system event logs. You can also check the status kung taas na yung CPU, and you can perform best practice analysis. No? Kung matitingnan nyo ano ba yung mga service nagra-run and how do you optimize. And you can also check yung performance. Talagang live what's happening sa server. So server manager, usually you open dashboard and you can add role. You can add other servers to manage. I think remote management then, and you can create a group. Let's say marketing group, no, sales group, engineering group, yung mga ganun, and manage multiple servers. You can connect to this server via cloud services. Pwede rin cloud, no? Next is RSAT. So to enable IT to remotely manage roles, kailangan merong naka-install sa Windows nyo na RSAT. Okay? RSAT includes AD, service tool, DHCP. You can manage DNS, failover, file services, group policy, almost everything. So kailangan yun itong RSAT. Later on, I'm going to show you how to install RSAT. What is RSAT? Remote Server Admin Tool. Okay? Overview of the least privilege admin concept. So most security breaches or data loss incident are the result of human error. Mamaya may experience nyo, sir, but ayaw gumana. Typo lang yan. Okay, so ano first step na gagawin nyo? Check the spelling. Okay, ingat kayo ha. Check the spelling. Then malicious activity. No? Kaya na-hack yung mga tao kasi merong malware na you didn't know. No? Kinlik yung PDF. Hindi nyo alam yung PDF na yon is a payload. No? Na will establish a reverse TCP connection. So what do you mean by reverse TCP connection? Pag click yung PDF na yun, kukonect yun sa attacker's workstation. The moment nag-login kayo sa FB, tinype niyo username password sa FB nyo, makikita ng hacker yung username and password nyo. Okay? So yun yung ginagawa namin sa ethical hacking. Kung gusto nyo makita ng password ng crush nyo, pag nakita, gusto makita Facebook ng crush nyo, enroll kayo sa ethical hacking. Hindi ko na di-discuss dito yun, okay? Kasi hindi naman tayo ethical hacker. So dito yun, malicious activity. Pag nakita nyo picture, click nyo, so ingat, no? Tawag ng phishing, man in the middle. Napakadami, napakalaking topic. Least privilege, the concept of restricting access. So that's why, by default, naka-read only kayo. Okay? And mostly, service account lang, hindi user account. Okay, so your role, day-to-day standard user account for IT admins, and iba yung root privilege, no? Merong full admin. So ideally, read lang, then domain admin, sila lang yung very powerful. Okay? How do you delegate privilege? So dito, meron delegation wizard. No? So let's say may help desk level 1, gusto ko reset lang ng password, pwede yon. Hindi sila pwede mag-reboot, hindi sila pwede mag-format, hindi sila pwede mag-delete ng users. Kumbaga, helpdesk 1, let's say helpdesk 1, walang pwedeng gawin kundi mag-reset ng password. Okay? Jump server. So what is jump servers? Jump server is a hardened server used to access and manage device within the DMZ, demilitarized zone. Ito yung 50-50, 50% security stepping into the public cloud and 50% sitting on the local area network. It is called in between, nasa gitna, and sometimes called perimeter. Okay? So yung bibigay ko sa inyo, may jump server kayo. Okay, let's review before we perform hands-on. You have Windows Server Standard, okay? Installed. It has DNS, DHCP, HyperV. How many VM can you run HyperV without? Before you need to purchase license. Froilan.
Yes, sir. If you haven't said that, virtual machine can have it before you purchase a license.
Ay, nandito pala si Ma'am. Sino ba yun? Sorry, what's your answer?
Wait, sir. Nalano ko. Install DNS in DHCP and HyperV install. How many virtual machine you can run before you need to purchase? For standard edition, A1.
Okay, let's hold on to that thought. Andito pala si Ma'am Jackie Lotixe. Hi, good morning, Ma'am Jackie.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
And congratulations, you passed the AZ900 Azure. Tama
Yes,
ba?
sir.
Ay,
Pinawas mo pa talaga dito.
congrats.
Thank
Galing.
Let's congrats, Ma'am Jackie Lu.
Galing,
Sir,
Lodi.
I would
Hello,
like also
congrats,
to,
ma'am.
to welcome
Open
yung
video,
mga,
ma'am.
yung mga staff ko, sir. Nandito sila ngayon. First time nila, Randall and Shane.
Ayun, Randall, welcome. Welcome and Shane. Welcome, Shane.
Ito po.
Ayan, pasado si Ma'am Jackie. Ang galing, ang
Congrats,
galing.
galing.
So yung mga nag-enroll ng examination, tanongin nyo si Ma'am Jackie Lu, paano niya napasa? Maraming review yan, mga 10 times, hindi lang isang beses.
Pakopya naman, ma'am.
Sir Chris, may sagot siya.
Oo. Galing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So we are sending reviewers, pero hindi enough yung reviewers. Kailangan maintindihan nyo talaga.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, dapat talagang naintindihan mo siya.
Oo, kasi may twist. Babalik ta rin niya question.
Saka
Napakahirap.
sir, hindi lahat nandun.
Tsaka hindi lahat nandun.
Malino
Kasi-
to ka, sir. Nakakalito rin siya eh.
Let's say nag-exam ka ngayon, iba yung question the following month. Tapos adaptive. Let's say nahirapan ka doon, papahirapan ka pa. Tatanungin ka pa relating to sa question na tinanong na hindi mo nasagot. Adaptive. In
Yes,
Tagalog, sadista. No?
Yes, sir.
Naman
Tsaka
dyan,
sir,
ano yung mga
lang siya.
question?
33 lang, pero
Ang
mabigat.
swerte mo.
yung iba.
Ako,
Pero mabigat yung iba, sir. Sa isang
Mabigat. Oo.
sa isang tanong, maraming tanong din.
maraming pare-pareho.
Yes, sir. Pero nakakalito. Yes,
So
sir.
33. Oo. Ako 60 ako nag-exam noon. Pabago-bago yan.
Oo, sir, yun. Kalahati lang ngayon, sir. Pero medyo
Mahirap. Oo.
mahirap po.
Ano yun sa multiple choice?
Oo, multiple choice, drag and drop.
Oo,
Walang
drag and drop.
hands-on, ano? Walang hands-on.
Wala, sir. Pero
Wala.
nagbibigay sila ng calculator. Di mo rin naman magagamit.
Hindi rin magaga. Useless din.
Oo, sir.
Tapos may nanonood sa'yo. Chat ka, no?
Yes, sir. Meron nga po.
May nanonood sa'yo. Tapos patitingnan, paikutin yung, yung camera sa buong bahay mo. Nag-exam
sir.
ako sa bedroom. May unan. Sabi, can you remove the bed sheet? Kala may natutulog. No? Kala...
Mahigpit, sir. Bawal din nakatakip yung bibig mo. Lahat bawal.
Oo,
dapat
bawal
malinis.
naka-shades.
Pero mas mahigpit siya, no? Mas mahigpit si Microsoft kaysa sa ibang
Ewan
ibang
ko.
sa
Ngayon,
Confias.
ngayon naghirap sila. Hindi sila ganyan dati. Hindi ganyan dati. Nag-exam nga ako. May cheat sheet pa nun. Hindi, wala pa. Hindi ngayon mahirap. Ayaw ko ba? Anyway.
Nag-wait lang ako konti, sir, kasi nagsimba lang ako kanina. Mga 10 minutes, kaya hindi mo
Okay
ako
lang.
nakita.
Para blessed tayo. No?
Thank you, sir.
Anyway, ang sagot, thank you din. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Palitan ko 2.
Tama. 2. So, paano kung gusto mo 100 license? You need to purchase 998. Bibili ka pa na additional 98 license. No? So, on data center, unlimited. Ayan. So, the point of asking is, I want to make sure talaga nakikinig ka. No? Next question. Teka, sa yung number 2 ko nawala. True or false? You must install SSL services with Windows Admin. Yes, sagot yan. Next, you want the help desk group to only be able to add or remove user from security group. Ito yung question ko. Let's say, help desk 1, walang ibang power kundi mag-reset lang ng password. Anybody? Ano gagawin nyo? A, B, C, D.
Letter C.
Tama. You have to delegate specific task. No, letter C. Okay. So these are the answer. C, delegation through 2. Okay.
May question po.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Same feature lang ba si
data center and the standard, sir?
Hindi. May pagkakaiba yan. So ang standard has 2 virtual machine. Kasama na, no?
I mean, pagdating sa feature, sir, then si standard lang is may limit lang.
Feature. Merong limited ang standard. Let's say you would like to have ano ba tawag doon? Yung 32, meron siyang 32 clustering feature, 32 ang standard. Ang data center, you can cluster up to 64. Napakadami.
Yes, pero the ref po, more on limited lang po talaga si standard.
Hindi, ang unlimited VM is data center, pero limited siya sa clustering service up to 64. Ang standard naman, limited sa 32. Okay, napakadaming features niya.
Okay, thank you po.
Welcome.
Hello, sir. May question lang ako.
Go ahead.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you see the screen? Wala.
Yes. Opo. Yung regarding dun sa may licensing ng standard, before kasi, meron kaming system integrator na nakausap na, di ba, yung license is included lang is yung, pwede siyang gamitin for 2 VMs.
Yes.
Basically daw, parang ang dapat daw i-install doon is HyperV and VMs, yung may GUI lang yung pwedeng gamitin doon. Tama ba?
Standard. Dalawang machine lang pwede. Pero kung gusto madami, bibili ng license.
Pero yung question kanina na may install siya na DNS and DHCP. Tapos with 2
kasama na yun. Built-in. I mean, you can do that sa standard as well.
So actually, parang 3 yung i-activate. Tama ba?
Hindi. Dalawa lang sa standard. Pero sa lab natin, 4 magiging VM din niya.
Alright.
And we'll be using data center. Okay. So, ito na. So, gagawa na tayo. Hands-on lab. Project number 1. Makinig muna. No? We're gonna build server using PowerShell. You're gonna create virtual hard drive. You're gonna create virtual network. And we're gonna perform post-installation task. Ito na. So, I'm gonna switch to my VM. Itong VM ko nasa laptop ko lang. Kaya nyo rin gawin to sa laptop niya. 8 gig RAM lang. Pero wag nyo gagawin ngayon. Wag na yun. So, ito na. So, nag-login ako sa aking VM. So, this is my server 1. So, ito yung gagawin nyo sa lab, ha? Makinig. Ito yung gagawin nyo sa lab. Take note kayo. So, ganito mag-take note. Take note. Notepad. Gawa lang kay Notepad. So, step 1, login to server 1. Ganun lang. Maiksi lang. Okay? Then, click PowerShell. Launch ICE. Pag sinabing integrated shell environment, ito yan. So, login to, pag sinabi ko namang login to HyperV, ito yon. Ito yung host niyo. Okay? Ito yung HyperV. So, ito yung HyperV. Okay? Ito yung ICE. Kita nyo ito? Now, left click yan. ICE. So, this is the shell. Okay? If you click show script pane, ito yung scripting pane. Okay? And then, meron kayong command add-on. Ito yon. Let's say you don't know how to create a new VM. Tatype nyo lang VM. Anong gusto nyo gawin? Then, this is our user-friendly. So, what can you do with the VM command? So, gusto kong new. Create a new one. Hanapin nyo dito. New VM. Ayun o. Okay? So, ang PowerShell, if you wanna create new VM, okay? If you wanna display, get VM. Okay, so ano ibig sabihin ng get? List, display. Ano new? Create, add. Okay, so this is the PowerShell command line. Verb, meaning action word. Okay, action word. Let's say start, action word, verb, start VM. Okay. So, followed by hyphen, followed by object. Or noun, okay? Noun. So, anong gusto mong gawin? VM. What about network? New network. New network switch VLAN. Okay? So, this is the verb. This is the noun. Malinaw ba? Noun, noun, noun. Okay? Verb, verb, verb. Okay, so gagawa tayo new. Okay, so new. So meron tayo ditong script program. So this is for our first project. Nasa VM na. So step 1, log into Hyper-V. Talagang kayo gagawa. No? Ang gagawin natin is server 4 because we already have 1, 2, and 3. So at the end of the project, dapat may 4. Okay? So how do you create 1? So dito, meron tayong drive C na nandun yung server. No? So meron ng 4, take note, papalitan nyo to. Sorry, meron ng 3, papalitan nyo to ng 4. So if you're gonna go here sa drive C, CD, for VM, dir, take note nyo CD, VM, dir. Then there, meron tong server 1, server 2, server 3, pero walang server 4. So ito yung gagawin nyo. So login sa Hyper-V, ICE, open projects, okay? And then create Nexus server 4, okay? So papalitan nyo to. Napansin nyo kanina 3. So I need to create. So dito, gagawa tayo ng virtual hard drive. Okay? Lalagay natin dito sa server 4. So as of now, walang server 4. Pangalan ng hard drive is Nexus server 4 VHDX, meaning virtual hard disk. Ano yung VHD? Virtual hard disk. And then, as I mentioned kanina, meron ng parent disk. Tawag sa parent, Nexus master virtual hard disk, which is located here. Okay, so attach lang natin yan. So the way to create this one is command line, new. So ito na, gagawa na ako ng virtual hard drive. And then, first step, ito nga, punta kayo sa, gagawa kayong directory. Kasi wala nga directory. Excuse me. So, MD, make directory, Nexus, server 4. Malinaw? Anyway, it's written naman dito. Nandiyan na yung script niya. Okay, so meron na akong disk. If I type dir, I already have Nexus 4. So I'm gonna go inside. Kahit hindi na kayo pumunta dyan, I'm gonna create a new disk. CLS to clear screen. I hope you're taking notes. Gagawa tayong virtual hard drive na nasa C:, VM. Nakita niyo yan? Server 4. Okay? Slash. Pangalan ng hard drive, Nexus server 4.virtual hard disk X. Okay? Then we're gonna attach the VHD into a parent. Ang parent is located sa C:, VM, Nexus master, which has the name of Nexus master VHDX. Okay? So in-attach ko lang. So this is a child. So press enter to execute. So na-create na siya ng disk. Physical size 4 kilobytes. Napakaliit, di ba? 4 kilobytes. Let's examine. So punta kayo sa HyperV Host. Go to drive C. VM. Ito na yan. Server 4. Ayan ang virtual hard drive nyo. Napakaliit. 4 kilobytes. Tama ba? 4 kilobytes. Oh, liit, diba? So, liit naman. Okay? Kasi wala pang laman. Okay. Sa next one, we're gonna create a server 4 dito sa Hyper-V. Kita nyo walang server 4. So, magkikreate tayo. So, this is the command. New. Ano ibig sabihin ng new? Anybody? And these are the switches. Anybody? What do you mean by new? Create. So, if you're asking for the switches, napakadaming switches. Okay. So our main focus today is for sysad, hindi programming. No? So hindi ko didiscuss yung mga napakadaming switches. Didiscuss ko lang yung enough for you to become a system admin. So new VM. Go ahead, the name.
Tawag dito yung case sensitive.
Hindi case sensitive.
Okay.
As you can see, I'm typing. Autocomplete siya. No? So let's say gusto mong lagyan ng 1 gigabyte, 1024 MB. Ganun na. Kung gusto mo 2 gig, 2048. Okay? Follow the rule. Kung gusto 4 gig, 4096. Okay? So 1 gig lang, 1024 MB, megabyte. So 1 gig. And then yung VHD path. Remember yung kanina, nag-create tayo ng disk, C:, VM. Hanapin nyo lang yung 4 kasi 4 yung kine-create ninyo. Okay, then slash, attach nyo dito sa server disk. Ito. Then meron siyang ganun. Okay. Mostly typo error kaya nag-error yung iba ha. Ingat kayo dito. Then yung server 4 will be connected sa switch. No? Like yung laptop niyo sa bahay niyo, naka-wifi kayo, naka-connect sa switch. Ang pangalan ng switch natin is Nexus switch. Careful sa typing. Isang mali lang, wala na, goodbye. Nexus switch 1. Okay? Enter. So it's creating a VM lang. Tapos na. Okay, may VM na siya. Which means, andito na siya. Ayun o. Okay? The next one, let's start the VM. Pwede namang copy, pero huwag nyo copy. No? Kasi sa pag-admin ka na, pwede na yung copy na kung nagmamadali ka. Okay. So na-start na yan. Ayun, starting na yung VM. Connect. So ito na yung VM niya.
Sir, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Yan kasi 'di ba script-based yan, sir. If ever ba, may way din para makagawa ng VM using a GUI based.
Yeah, meron din.
Meron din po.
Yeah, meron din. So this is the quickest one. So sa Azure, you might be thinking, how come within 24 seconds up and running server ko? Ito yung ginagawa nila. So hindi na uso yung mag-install sa ICE. So, mabagal yun. Okay, sa dito, tapos na yung project 1 mo. Okay, and then we're gonna do post-installation tasks such as login, lagyan mo ng password, no? Gusto ko lahat ng password is one welcome one, exclamation. Iba kasi name ng girlfriend, no? Nalimutan niya, sino ba dun? Diba? Eh, tatlo yung girlfriend niya. So, huwag na kayo mag-invento ng password. Ito na lang gamitin ninyo. Okay? So, from run command, check natin yung IP. Then, papalitan mo ng IP. Anong IP address? Ito. .24. Anong subnet mask? Ito. Okay? Gateway, DNS. So, you have to follow this. You have to follow this. And then, you need to rename the server and then set time zone. Ito yung time zone. This is how we change the server. Okay? And then, join natin sa domain. So, ito na siya. Ayan siya. No? So, busy siya, busy. So, you have to be patient, remember. No? So, antayin niya. Antayin natin. Ito na yung post-installation. So, I'll be asking country, region, language, default lang. Click mo next. Product license key. So, this is a license key you need to enter kung naka-purchase kayo ng standard data center. If not, since this is only demo, do this later. Okay? Then accept the licensing. So, ito yung installation procedure. No? Post-installation. Lagyan nyo na password. Stick tayo sa sinabi ko. No? Kasi baka maubos ang 1 day ninyo, hindi pa kayo matapos. Actually, 1 day lang to, tapos na to. Tapos na. So, meron na tayong server. Login. So, how do you log in? Action. Control-Alt-Delete. Ang admin, laging administrator para local admin tayo. So, I'll log in using one welcome exclamation. And that will be the password for all VMs. So, meron akong server 4 up and running. Okay, so what's next? Ito na yung gagawin natin next. We need to log in and put IP address .24. Okay. So paano pumunta? Andito na step by step. How do you go there? Click control. Step by step talaga. View network. Go to Ethernet. Properties IPv4, no? And then since this is the first time, it will be a bit slower kasi nagpo-provision siya ng disk. Nag-expand yan. So that's why it's called VHDX. Dynamically expanding. Okay, so punta kayo sa control. Type ninyo step 1. Step 1. Anong step na ba tayo? Anyway, nandito na yung step. Nandiyan na yung step na. Control. View network. Type nyo lang control. Pas during on the first booth, hindi nyo makikita yan. So you have to wait. No? Still provisioning yan. Or here, click nyo lang tong Windows button. Ayun ang control. And then view network. na kahit mag-isa kayo, kaya nyo gawin to. Click properties, no? Kahit wala, ayan, no? Click properties, click IPv4. Talagang on your own, ikaw lang gagawa. Lagyan ng IP address. Then that, since this is number 4, no? So meron tayong standard 24, which means 21 is first server, 22 second, 23 third. No? Subnet mask, gateway. Tama ba? Okay? Okay, that's done. So yun. DNS 21 DNS. Na? So punta kayo dito sa DNS 21. Because this is the Active Directory. So you need DNS resolution. Ano DNS? Di-discuss ko mamaya. No? So that's done. And then you have to rename the server. Set the time zone. No? Set yung time. Mano-mano ha, huwag kayong magka-copy-paste. Kasi hindi kayo matututo sa copy-paste. So dito, unless expert na talaga kayo, no? Ang gusto niyo i-automate na. So open up ISE. Okay? Don't be confused. I'm inside the VM, which is hosted in HyperV. Okay? Ito HyperV, ito VM. Ayun no, server 4, VM. The initial launching, provisioning pa rin siya. Or you can launch PowerShell using this one. Click nyo lang yan, ayun siya. Now, you can even do this on Tuesday if you want, or kung kailan lang kayo free. You don't have to do it now. Na? So this is our ICE inside server 4. Okay.
So, parang nawala po yung audio nyo.
Ay, sorry, nakamute ako. Anyway, wala naman akong sinabi masyado. So that's time zone. And then, reboot. Reboot yun eh. Server 4, ha? Hindi yung HyperV. Yung ganun, ano? Let me know kung wala kayong naririnig pero gumagalaw yung mouse. Kasi dalawa yung mute button. First one is in Zoom. Second one is sa Steel Series ko sa headset. Okay, na-reboot na siya. Control-Alt-Delete. Then one welcome. Okay, now, hindi nyo ma-RDP to kasi hindi ako gumawa ng gateway. So there's no way for you to connect from the host going to the VM. No? So this is server 4. The last thing you need to do is join sa domain. Our domain name is Nexus Corp. So ito yon, server 4.24. We're gonna join server 4 in server 1. This is the Active Directory na picture nyo. So how do you join? Open up ICE. Click nyo lang yung ICE. Okay, so step by step. Ayan siya. Huh? So this is a very self-explanatory, which is easy to understand. Ano ibig sabihin nito? a-add nyo yung computer sa domain. Ang pangalan is Nexus Corp with the credential of domain admin administrator, and then it will restart automatically. Pag hindi nag-restart, it will do a force reboot. Okay? Question about this command. Self-explanatory, madali intindihan, di ba? Okay, ito na. Add computer. Ay, CLS, clear screen. Add computer name. Nakita niyo how I type. Autocomplete siya. Oh, talagang kahit sino kaya namang gawin ito. Ano? Kahit bad spelling. Kasi merong autocomplete. Domain name, pangalan ng domain na ginawa ko, Nexus Corp. Credential, Nexus. Ngayon, if you're gonna create your own domain, I would suggest Nexus Corp kasi lahat ng PowerShell ko naka-Nexus Corp. Malilito kayo. Ngayon, kung confident na kayo, probably after a month, doon na lang kayo mag-change ng domain. Okay, it will ask for credential. As usual, ang password, one welcome, exclamation. Para pare-pareho tayo na. Then magre-reboot siya. So that's post-installation. So anong password, sir? Ayan, no? Ayan. Okay, copyhin nyo na, take note nyo na. Actually, hindi na kailangan. Ito na eh. So bibigay ko to sa Skype. No? Actually, nasa Windows ninyo na rin tayo. Lalagay ko rin dito sa ating Zoom. Kasi lahat naka-join sa Zoom eh. So, Zoom chat ko. Zoom chat. Asan na yun? Yan. Habang nagre-reboot. So, rebooting yan. As you can see.
Ano Skype name mo, sir?
Oo, ay tapos na. So, sasend ko dito sa ating Zoom chat. Everyone. Pwede ako makapag-paste. Gusto niya file lang eh. Okay, so that's done. Any questions? I think server 4. So, pingable na lahat ng servers. So, we have about 4 servers. CMD, command prompt. Ito yung someone asking command prompt. This is not PowerShell. This is just DOS command or command if you want to do a simple ping. No? Ping ninyo server 1. Ayan. Tawag dyan resolving pa lang. Ano? So, hindi pa nare-resolve. Ayan, di pa tapos. Di pa tapos. Tayin natin. So, how do you confirm if this has been joined sa domain? So, right-click, system, look for system info. Ayun, naka-join na siya. Nexus Server 4 and the domain is Nexus Corp. So success. Now you cannot ping just host name. No? So you need fully qualified domain name. So ganito yun. Dadagdag nyo yung domain name. Nexus Server 1. Nexus Corp. Teka, hindi ko ma-ping. Ping 10.1.1.21. Pingable. Naka-firewall siya. So, pupunta kayo server 1. Server 4 settings. First thing you need to check, naka-connect sa switch. Tama. Switch na. So, punta ka server 1. Welcome. CMD. Ping, then the server 1. Nexus Corp. Ay, sorry. Hindi pala server. Nexus server. So, ping Nexus server. Nexus server 1. Yun. Okay? Pinalitan ko pala. Server 2. Reachable. Okay? Server 3. Okay? Reachable. That's done. Any question?
Sir, question po. Ano yung nakukuha natin sa parent, sir?
Yung parent disk, yung main na operating system. So, in-attach natin sa parent.
During po sa installation ng server 1 yun, no?
Correct. Okay, so
Alright.
that's number 1. So, bibigay ko na yung machine ninyo. So, we have about, ilan ba kayo? I-take note ko isa-isa na sa, kasi sino lang yung nandito. So sa Zoom chat ko, kasi mas kumpleto kayo dahil yung iba hindi pa nag-add sa Skype ko. Sa Zoom na lang muna. And then I'm gonna give the access. So this lab is only 15 minutes. Tapos na kayo. Napabilis lang nito. Kung hindi matapos ngayon, tomorrow yun na lang gawin.
Sir,
So,
question lang.
Go ahead.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
Question lang, yung regarding sa same lang din ba procedure pag nag-install ka ng or nag-implement ka ng Active Directory?
Oo, same lang. OS pa lang tayo, wala pa tayo sa AD. Ha?
Thank you.
Sir, may tanong lang ako, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, kasi last time, nakapag-create ako ng server, then, tulad na nangyari kanina, sir, I mean, hindi pala. Napiping ko sa server 1, pero si server 2 hindi.
Paano firewall ka pa?
Sa firewall po yun, sir.
Firewall. O baka mali naman, tulad kanina, piniping ko server 1. Nexus
I
server
mean,
pala pangalan.
Server name, hindi ko siya napiping. Pero pagdating sa IP address,
Napiping. Hindi gumagana DNS mo.
tapos usually, minsan din, kailangan ko munang iping siya sa kabila, si server 1, bago ko maping si server 2.
Oo, tama. Saan yung chat ko? Mga nagchat-chat, pwede na mag-voice kasi nagchat-chat din ako sa iba eh. Hindi ko makita iba.
Ay. Sorry sir, nagpapa-add lang din sa ano.
Sa Skype? Yeah,
Skype.
okay lang.
Ano po yung ano? Sorry.
Aldrin, Nitron. Ayan, nasendan na kita. Kita mo?
Ano yung
Sa Zoom.
Skype ID, sir?
Ano Zoom?
Sir, pa-send rin po sa akin. Thank you.
One by one. So, sasend ako kaya. So, Aldrin, Nitron. Kita mo yung Zoom chat ko.
Yes, sir. Receive na po.
Baka login nga, tol. So, 27 lang to, 37 kayo, may 10 hindi mabibigyan ng lab. So, bukas na yung iba, no? Kasi maximum ng Azure subscription namin, 27, 37 kayo. May humabol yan. Pero anyway, iba talaga, hindi niya matatapos to dahil medyo, you need more than, actually 15 minutes eh. No? Tapos magdi-discuss na ako. Ma-feel nyo lang paano mag-login. Successful ba, Aldrin? Can you log in, Aldrin? Dito tayo sa Zoom muna, sa Zoom.
Sir.
Next one, HyperV Liagnas. Na? Aldrin. Nakalagin ka na ba, Aldrin? Aldrin. Nawala si Aldrin. Alfie Villagnas, are you here? Alfie. CR muna.
Yes, sir.
I want you to test this one.
Okay.
Na-send ko na sa'yo. Na-send ko na yung 2. Second host ka. Okay? Sige, mag-CR na kaya. Angelo, andito ba si Angelo Saulo?
Yes, sir. Nandito po.
Angelo, third host ka. So ito yung sinesend ko, RDP yan. So RDP ka lang. Pakitest,
Okay po.
noun na.
Okay po.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, nakapag-try na po ako. Naka-login na po.
Sino kaso nagka?
Aldrich po, sir.
Aldrin o Aldrich?
Aldrich pa.
Nitron?
Yes, sir.
Aldrich. Sige, babaguhin ko. Angelo. Pangatlo ka, Angelo.
Yes, sir. Connecting na po. Login na lang po.
Ang bilis mo ah.
Sir,
Ayan.
Ringo, sir,
Nakita mo,
kahit
Angelo?
bukas pa lang po
Nakita
ako.
mo, Angelo?
Sir, wait lang. Na-pressure na agad ako. Ayan na. Connecting na, sir.
Aris? Dito ba si Aris? Sa Zoom ako nag-chat. Aris? Nandito ba si Aris?
Wait lang. Ayan.
Wala?
Andito.
Andiyan. Mapuro kayo A ah. Senyoda. Pang-apat ka, Aris. So random lang to. Random lang to. Walang pinipili. Ngayon merong hindi ma-access yung server today. Pero tomorrow you can access. Kasi 27 lang to server namin. Ang daming humabol. Ang daming humabol, sabi ko. 20 cut-off. Ewan ko bakit Okay, next one, Bernard. So random lang to, ano?
Sir. Okay.
A and B. Online ka, Bernard? A M B?
Online po.
So make sure yung name ninyo is correct kasi ito yung lalabas sa certificate, Bernard A and B.
Okay po.
Kahit bukas na lang kami, yung tatlo para upabot yung ano nyo.
Ay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, ano pangalan po nila ng Shane?
Shane tsaka si Randel. Tatlo na lang kami, sir, kahit bukas na lang kami.
Rendel and Shane. Ayun, thank you.
Okay,
Akin din, sir, Ringo, sir, kahit bukas, sir. Pero
Bukas
anytime
na lang.
naman, kahit gabi, sir, pwede ma-access po yan.
24/7. Call center kami. Call
Medyo
center.
mahina yung computer ko
Yan
ngayon.
na lang ako, sir, pag mag-access kami sa'yo.
Sige.
Thank you.
John Robin, next na lang daw.
Sir, earlier Froilan, sir, kahit next Saturday na lang ako, sir, para give it to all of them.
Napaka-generous nyo. No?
Yes,
Sige.
sir.
Ano pong name nila, sir?
Earlier Froilan.
Froilan. Sino pa?
Yes.
Sir, ako bukas na lang din.
Name pare.
Ron Alvin po.
Alvin?
Ron.
Ron Alvin. Teka, yung recording ko tumatakbo pala. Stop ko na nga.